The Crystal Cave by Mary Stewart, Book 2, The Falcon, 3. Even if I had dared risk the torchlight and the dog, to scramble over the bank behind me and run the 20 paces to the gate, there would have been no need. The god had done his part. He had sent me warmth and, I discovered, food. No sooner had the gate shut than I was back inside the ship on, whispering reassurance to the horse as I reached to rob him of the cloak. He was not sweating much. He must have galloped only a mile or so from the town, and in that shed, among the crowded beasts, he could take no harm from cold. In any case, my need came before his, and I had to have that cloak. It was an officer's cloak, thick, soft, and good. As I laid hold of it, I found, to my excitement, that my lord had left me not only his cloak, but a full saddlebag as well. I stretched up tiptoe and felt inside. A leather flask, which I shook. It was almost full. Wine, certainly. That young man would never carry water. A napkin with biscuits in it, and raisins and strips of dried meat. The beasts jostled, dribbling and puffed their warm breath at me. The long cloak slipped to a trail in a corner in the long coat had slipped to trail a corner in the dirt under their hooves. I snatched it up, clutched the flask and food to me, and slipped out under the barrier. The pile of brushwood in the corner outside was clean, but I would hardly have cared if it had been a dung heap. I burrowed into it, wrapped myself warmly in the soft woolen folds, and steadily ate and drank my way through everything the god had sent me. Whatever happened, I must not sleep. Unfortunately, it seemed that the young man would not be here for more than an hour or two, but this, with the bonus of food, should be time enough to warm me so I might bed down in comfort till daylight. I would hear movement from the house in time to slip back to the shed and throw the cloak into place. My lord would hardly be likely to notice that his marching rations had gone from his saddlebag. I drank some more wine. It was amazing how even the stale ends of the barley bread tasted the better for it. It was good stuff, potent and sweet, and tasting of raisins. It ran warm into my body till the rigid joints loosened and melted and stopped their shaking, and I could curl up warm and relaxed in my dark nest, with the bracken pulled right up over me to shut out the cold. I must have slept a little. What woke me, I have no idea. There was no sound. Even the beast in the shed was still. It seemed darker, so that I wondered if it was almost dawn when the stars fade. But when I parted the bracken and peered out, I saw they were still there, burning white in the black sky. The strange thing was, it was warmer. Some wind had risen and brought cloud with it, scudding drifts that raced high overhead, then scattered and wisped away, so that shadow and starlight broke, one after the other, like waves across the frost-grey fields and still landscape, where the thistles and stiff winter grasses seemed to flow like water, or like a cornfield under the wind. There was no sound of the wind blowing. Above the flying veils of cloud, the stars were brilliant, studding a black dome. The warmth in my curled posture in the dark must, I thought, have made me dream of security, of Galapus and the Crystal Cave, where I had lain curled and watched the light. Now the brilliant arch of stars above me was like the curved roof of the cave, with the light flashing off the crystals, and the passing shadows flying, chased by the fire. You could see points of red and sapphire, and one star steady beaming gold. Then the silent wind blew another shadow across the sky, with light behind it, and the thorn trees shivered, and the shadow of the standing stone. I must be buried too snug in my bed to hear the rustle of the wind through the grass and thorn. Nor did I hear the young man pushing his way through the barrier that the porter had replaced across the gap in the bank. For suddenly, with no warning, he was there, a tall figure striding across the field, as shadowy and quiet as the wind. I shrank like a snail into its shell, too late now to run and replace the cloak. All I could hope was that he would assume the thief had fled and not search too near. But he did not approach the shed. He was making straight across the field away from me. Then I saw, half in, half out of the shadow of the standing stone, the white animal grazing. His horse must have broken loose. The gods alone knew what it found to eat in that winter field, but I could see it, ghostly in the distance, the white beast grazing beside the standing stone. And it must have rubbed the girth till it snapped. Its saddle, too, was gone. At least in the time he would take to catch it, I should be able to get away. Or better still, drop the cloak near the shed, where he would think it had slid from his horse's back, and then get to my warm nest till he had gone. He could only blame the porter for the animal's escape, and justly. I had not touched the bar across the doorway. I raised myself cautiously, watching my chance. The grazing animal had lifted its head to watch the man's approach. A cloud swept across the stars, blackening the field. Light ran over the shadow across the frost. It struck the standing stone. I saw that I had been wrong. It was not the horse, nor, my next thought, could it be one of the young beasts from the shed. It was a bull, a massive white bull, full grown, with a royal spread of horns and a neck like a thundercloud. It lowered its head till the dewlap brushed the ground, and pawed once, twice. The young man paused. I saw him now clearly as the shadow lifted. He was tall and strongly built, and his hair looked bleached in the starlight. He wore some sort of foreign dress, trousers cross-bound with thongs below a tunic girded low on the hips, and a high loose cap. Under this the fair hair blew round his face like rays. There was a rope in his hand, held loosely, its coils brushing the frost. His cloak flew in the wind. A short cloak, of some dark color I could not make out. His cloak? Then it could not be my young lord. And after all, why should that arrogant young man come with a rope to catch a bull that had strayed in the night? Without warning and without sound, the white bull charged. Shadow and light rushed with it, flickering, blurring the scene. The rope whirled, snaked into a loop, settled. The man leapt to one side as the great beast tore past him and came to a sliding stop, with the rope snapping taut and the frost smoking up the clouds from the side-slipping hooves. The bull whirled and charged again. The man waited without moving, his feet planted slightly apart, his posture casual, almost disdainful. As the bull reached him, he seemed to sway aside, lightly, like a dancer. The bull went by him, so close that I saw a horn shear the swirling cloak, and the beast's shoulder past the man's thigh, like a lover seeking a caress. The man's hands moved. The rope whipped up into a ring, and another loop settled round the royal horns. The man leaped against it, and as the beast came up short once more, turning sharp in its own smoke, the man jumped, not away, towards the bull, clean on to the thick side, with knees digging into the dewlap, and fierce hands using the rope like reins. The bull stopped dead, his feet four square, his head thrust downwards, with his whole weight and strength against the rope. There was still no sound that I could hear, no sound of hoof, or crack of rope, or bellow of breath. I was half out of the brushwood now, rigid and staring, heedless of anything save the fight between man and bull. A cloud stamped the field again with darkness. I got to my feet. I believe I meant to seize the plank from the shed and rush with it across the field to give what futile help I could. But before I could move, the cloud had fled to show me the bull standing as before, the man still on its neck. But now the beast's head was coming up. The man had dropped the rope, and his 2 hands were on the bull's horns, dragging them back, up, slowly, almost as if in a ritual of surrender. The bull's head lifted, the powerful neck stretched up, exposed. There was a gleam in the man's right hand. He leaned forward, then drove the knife down and across. Still in silence, slowly the bull sank to its knees. Black flowed over the white hide, the white ground, the white base of the stone. I broke from my hiding place and ran, shouting something, I have no idea what, across the field towards them. I don't know what I meant to do. The man saw me coming and turned his head, and I saw that nothing was needed. He was smiling, but his face in the starlight seemed curiously smooth and inhuman in its lack of expression. I could see no sign of stress or effort. His eyes were expressionless too, cold and dark, with no smile there. I stumbled, tried to stop, caught my feet in the trailing cloak, and fell, rolling in a ridiculous and helpless bundle toward him. Just as the white bull, slowly heeling over, collapsed, something struck me in the side of the head. I heard a sharp, childish sound, which was myself crying out. Then it was dark. And that's the end of chapter 3.